So another day in the market, another little market open, little bit of red there on BTC. Are we going to get these entries that we're looking at? So maybe we're going to get something live here on the show. But what I'm focused on here, there's a couple of obvious trades that we really need to be focused on the next move from BTC. If we bottom here on BTC, there's only a couple of obvious ones that I think we're going to need to get going. So we got tons to talk about here today, guys. We might even get some live trading in. Let's get right into this. And remember, as always, hit the like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. You know who's here. Do I even have to show you the man is here? He's hanging out. It looks like you're in like your patio there. What's going on there? The bull patio.
I'm in the living room.
He's in the living room. He's in the living room. Okay, banter bubbles. Let's deal with this situation. Yeah, Audis -6, taking some strain. OM, I've got that chart for you guys today. There could be something brewing here on this OM. So that is looking interesting. And then all round, I would say misery. Bottom right, 88. Come on, bro. 1.7%. What are these guys doing? How are they keeping this thing up? But look, overall, pretty red. We've just had a meltdown now on BTC. And I love these meltdowns because it gives us opportunities. Maybe we're going to get a little opportunity here, chase a little stop hunt, maybe a little bounce on BTC. So make sure you guys keep watching. Ray is going to tell me if those magic 3-minute candles start talking to him. And we're going to see if we can start jumping in. So let's talk about BTC. Let's see what have we got here on. Let's go 4 hour. Let's go. No, that's 1 hour. That's the misery. Let's go BTC 4 hour. Now, there's something I'm watching closely. You can see we are reacting now on this 56K level, but we are so close to the 618 fib at 55. I think we've come this far on BTC. I would love to see a little dip into this 55K today. If we can get that on the show, I think that is potentially a bottom move for us. That is going to be dropping alts into some great zones here for some big entries. So right now, look, 56K, looking at a potential opportunity here. Ray's going to keep us posted. If we get lucky here, and they push this thing down to 55, maybe a little bit under there, maybe 54, mid 54s. I'm looking for a nice play here, and it would be a lovely push. I think we're going to get a lot of buyers in there, and then we're going to look for quite a big move here. I would say 57 or even this 59, 600 is going to be on the table for me. So that is what I'm watching closely. If you are scalping currently, you can use the wick low that you can see. And this wick low here is 55,774. So use that for now. Let's see how this plays out. I'm itching for a bit of action here. Okay. And then upside, look, if we do bounce from here, we're looking at 56,900. Let's just highlight that one. That is this horizontal. Okay. That's trend and horizontal. So look out for that type of thing here if we do bounce off this current level. But 55 to 54, that's my hot zone. Looking for that. Corresponding alts, I think we're going to get some bangers there. So we're going to tee you guys up if Bitcoin is going to go to those types of levels. And hopefully we can get some entries based on that. Let's just take a look here. If we do get a dip on BTC, okay, we're going to use this for some of these altcoins now when we start talking about it. If we do get a dip into the zone here for BTC, it's about a 2.5% move on BTC. Now, generally, we know these altcoins take a lot more pain. Okay, I think it would be safe to say these alts would drop maybe between 5 and 10%, give or take, depending on what they are. Like Popcat, for example, could get an absolute hiding. ETH might hardly move. Sol could probably do 5 or 6%, somewhere along those lines. So we're going to try and time these alts nicely onto corresponding supports and just gauge as to where we are. Okay, so while that is happening, let's just talk about what is happening in September. Big event. Token 2049. I'm going to be there. Banter's going to be there. We're going to be cooking, guys. Come and hang out with us. If you are going to be in Singapore, make sure you come and find us there. We'll be around. We got a big Banter event happening on the Friday as well. And guys, if you want to buy a ticket, today is the last day that you can get tickets for. I think it was $6.99. Okay, there is a link in the description here for you guys under the show, and I literally think today is the last day. It's the early bird tickets or something along those lines, but today is the last day that you can get the $6.99 tickets. So there is the link for Token 24 if you guys want to come and hang out and just hang out with us there. We'll catch you there. Okay, let's talk a couple of things in the news before we jump in. I'm getting so excited. I think we're going to get a BTC little play here just now. So I'm waiting for Ray to jump in on the 3-minute magic. But Jonah is talking about these political polls. Now, Trump is ahead, 58%. As you can see, Harris is 42%, okay? And he's basically saying Trump is ripping in the polls, okay? Kamala is in the doom loop. Crypto, which is heavily election dependent, is trending down, okay? We know about that. The dip to buy will come in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Now, it makes sense. It's almost like a slingshot play here. We've got Trump pushing higher, Trump sprinting a big green candle, and bearish is Bitcoin is looking a little bit bearish at the moment, looking for some kind of slingshot play here into this Trump news. So this could be pretty interesting for us, and we're going to take a look at some stats on September in a second here, and I'm going to disprove a couple of thoughts on September being bearish. So stick around. We had US ADP non-farm employment change today, okay? 99K versus 122. I believe that's going to put a little bit more pressure on this rates cut. We start looking at about a 0.5 or 50 basis points rates cut coming up. I think those odds are going to start increasing quite quickly based on that. And looking at the S&P, the S&P didn't like that data. And for the second day, looking a little bit bearish here. And things are slowly turning over. I'm still of the view, okay, we're going to get a bounce into this rates. Okay, so we're waiting for it. I think it's just a matter of time. And, when things start falling over like this, you can play the same game on the S&P that you can play on a lot of crypto. So what you want to do, just grab your fib from the low to the high. This is the daily chart, and we want to analyze a couple of hot zones. And you can see hot zone number 1 is the one I've been talking about for a while here on the S&P. This 5,450 area, very nice zone. Okay, we've nearly closed this gap over here. That could happen today, for instance. So that would be nice, and get some nice little push there. John says fake poll. Trump should be 90%, if not more. Guys, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in America. Now, we're not exposed to all the news, so I don't know what's going on there at the moment. I mean, there's tons of political stations. They sidelined with various, the Democrats, the Republicans. It must be absolutely messy there in the news at the moment. I'd love some feedback from you guys as to what is going on. But look, closing on the S&P, 5,450 looks like a nice zone. Okay, close that little gap there on the daily. Maybe we get some kind of reaction there, some kind of bounce. So that would be nice. Then a little bit lower down, we can't ignore Big Daddy, always 618. Look at that. Horizontals in play here for us as well. So 5,300, nice little area on the S&P. So both of these look relatively bouncy, and I wouldn't be too concerned just yet. Now look at these numbers from this guy. He says, Jason, 3 peaks trading. Okay, he's run some numbers since 1964. I mean, this guy's really done some work for you guys. And he's saying the average return in September election years is positive plus 0.39%. Okay, the median return nearly plus 1%. Okay, 3 bear markets years are responsible for any declines worse than minus 1% in September. So if you throw out the bear market years, 2000, 08, 2020, okay, because we are now in a bull market, the average September return during election years inside of a bull market is actually 2%. Okay, so basically he's saying, let's not stress. Okay, let's relax. This S&P could end up stronger, and it's not a difficult thing. Let's just look where this S&P actually opened. And I mean, look, we opened with a bear candle. I mean, they came and ended us with an absolute bear candle. But it doesn't need to do much, We just need to start clearing this 5,600 level, and then we are back in the game. So interesting stats there, okay? And that could play into the hands of crypto as well. If we've got a bullish push now into the rates cut on the 18th of September, maybe a little sell-off after that, and then another nice little buy up and push, we could well end quite strong here come end of September in crypto as well. And I'm feeling relatively positive on that type of outcome, and that is how I am trying to play things at the moment. And then Don Crypto Trades is just talking about Bitcoin. He's saying we're seeing renewed strength during the US trading sessions this week. Okay, it's been selling off nearly every market open session. This Tuesday was bad, but besides that, BTC has been seeing upside during most of the US sessions this week. Okay, today and Friday to be determined, and this thing is now absolutely dumping. So this information potentially going out of the window for now. So we're going to keep track of BTC here on the 4 hour. For me, high conviction zone here, guys. Be ready. Okay, 55 to 54. That for me is the altcoin zone. That is where we're longing some alts with conviction as well. We're going to look for that dip into that area. I suspect it's going to be juicy down in that region. Let's just take a quick look at our liquidation map. I just want to update this one and make sure we are talking the same language here. Let's just see where we are. And Ferdy's got a nice message for you guys. He says, come on, smash the like buttons. Guys, remember, if you hate the bear market, okay, you know we're going to get out of it. Hit the like button, okay? If you enjoy the setups, you enjoy the contents, hit the like button, do the thing. And remember, leave your charts in the comments, whether it's during the show or after the show, preferably, so that Ray can go through them for me. And then tomorrow, we can take a look at some more of the charts that you guys want to see. Okay, here's our election heat map, the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. And you can see we've got a little cluster just below us here, floating around this 55,500 region. Nice little area here for that liquidation map. So maybe even a little sweep in that area. But I must say, the high conviction zone for me is now really starting to fire up at that 55 to 54K region. And it is now looking like a reality on the BTC daily chart. Now you can see we've had this zone highlighted for weeks and weeks while we've been waiting, and this was tested briefly recently, and now we are dipping into the zone again. So big area here for us. I would love to see a little dip here and then a sharp recovery here on BTC on the daily. So 55K just below that, looking good for us on the daily. If we have to go deeper, if we have to go darker, it's 52,414. Okay, we can even put the dollar number on that one. I would suspect we get a reaction there. 52,414.47. That is where I want my reaction if we do go a little bit lower. So eyes on that one, guys. And remember, you know, if we don't bounce at the 618 region with corresponding alts, we're just going to start looking at those next reaction zones on the altcoins. They should tie in quite nicely with BTC when we hit those levels. So always, you know, a little bit of pain when the market is falling over, but always get a little bit exciting. Okay, when we get these opportunities, because these are the times where we turn the money printers on. These are the times when we can actually make money. When it's dumping like this, it's the most exciting for me. Okay. USDT dominance. Now, we've been talking about this one all week on the weekly, and you can see this thing is still pushing higher. It's pushing strong, and I'm still expecting this to play out for us. So a little push into the 6.5% region, some kind of double top. That could happen potentially with one more dip here on BTC, and then a nice rejection, and then unleash the market a little bit. Give us a little bit of a push. And again, we don't have to go to all-time highs, but I suspect at some point we get a strong bounce here. And this 54 to 55 is now starting to talk to me, and I'm getting a little bit excited about it. Let's see if it's going to play out for us. Now, I'm tired of ETH, okay? I'm sure everybody is tired of ETH, but I just wanted to share this with all the ETH bros quickly over here. This is Follis, okay? And I can read the Japanese there at the top. It says Follis. Hello, sir. Can I help you?
Fucking ETH.
ETH bros. Okay. Multi-month downtrend. Minus 40% in 100 days. Lost every moving average that matters. The ETH Foundation is selling. They're selling their own stuff. Okay. 𝗦𝗡𝗥's found a girlfriend. I mean, that is bearish as hell. And GCR's vanished. Just another day in the life of an ETH maxi. Now, TradeStream did a little analysis as to what happens when the ETH Foundation sells their tokens, okay? And like, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't even have to read this thing to get the answer. It dumps, okay? And every time these guys sell, it feels like they actually sell the top of the market. They seem to be the most epic traders in history. And he's given you a little explanation here. So if you want to follow TradeStream here, it's TradeStream.xyz. He's written a whole story. He's done a whole analysis. But the conclusion at the bottom, when the ETH Foundation decides to sell, it doesn't matter what the price did before. The pressure of dumping millions on the market leads to a crash, okay? I think we all know that type of information. And ETH is just looking sad. And for me, 2,100 is our level. And I suspect BTC around 54K, a little sweep down into that region. I think we're going to get that 2,100, maybe even a bit more pressure on BTC, but it's starting to look inevitable now. So even if we do get some kind of short-term bounce here on ETH, I'm still feeling like they want to come here and just close us out at this 2,100. So high conviction zone, 2,100 for ETH. Let's see what happens here. We've tested this, the current region, the 2,350, multiple times here. And you can see ETH is potentially now trying to lose this one. So let this thing play out a little bit. And, you know, there's no real urgency on ETH. We can always jump back into that one when it starts churning. Okay, now let's just talk about things we need to be prepped for. Okay, if the market is going to return or if the market's going to reverse, give us some kind of bounce, you only need to be looking at a couple of trades. Okay, when everything is popping off, we're going to catch loads of scalps, we're going to catch loads of breakouts and things like that. But for me right now, I'm trying to focus on catching the SOL position here into breakpoint, into the rates cut, in for a bounce. Okay, naturally we could be wrong, the market could be absolutely wreck us and things like that, but this is what trading's about, and we need to have conviction. And when we get data like this, and we've spoken about this now all week, I mean, this has been a topic of conversation for me, but just a reminder for those that are watching today that haven't been watching me this week, just a reminder on what happens leading into Breakpoint. Breakpoint is the official SOL conference that happens once a year, and we get 68% price surge in 2021, 16 days before, 42% 16 days before 2022, 58% increase 2023. Okay, yes, this time could definitely be different. I see Dinbar says Vitalik's girlfriend is ADA. Look, this time could be different for SOL. That might not work at all. Okay, but when we get Bitcoin dumping, it smells like opportunity. Okay, and that gives us opportunity to either add to existing positions or start finding new positions if we have missed some of these SOL scalps. So number one here, this is the first chart that I'm watching on SOL. It's the 12-hour. It's the big picture play. And we got to look at flush out levels. Now, number one for me, okay, you guys know I'm in a SOL position right now. There it is. Okay, I'm trading it on Bybit at the moment. Okay, prepared to take a stop on this one if we need to. I want to get this thing right. And what I'm watching here is flush out zones. Okay, so naturally, if the market holds, starts grinding higher, then we locked in positions. I'm going to give you the scalper levels shortly. But bigger picture, where do I need to be ready for a flush out on BTC so I can grab this thing? If they want to come and flush us one more time, okay? So same level as Monday, Tuesday that we looked at, that is 122 to 121. Be ready over there, okay? If you see the market falling over, get ready in that region. That's a potential big bounce zone for SOL. You want to look where BTC is at the corresponding time. So if BTC is pushing into a nice support level, for example, 55, 54K, you want to see if SOL's floating around 122, 121, maybe that is where you need to start sniffing around on Solana. So that is the first flush out zone that we want to look at. That's number one. Then lower down again, easily hit, okay? 107, 108, 110, somewhere in this region over here. You can see at the bottom of this chart, that's a flush out level for me, okay? That will close out a nice little double bottom for us on tons of these altcoins. You're going to see Ether 2,100 as well. If SOL hits these types of levels, I suspect. And that's going to be on your radar. So get your alarms on. Make sure you are ready for this. Eyes on SOL. Just keep SOL on your watch list for the next couple of days, because if the market does bottom, I suspect SOL is going to be a nice mover when things start getting a little bit bullish. And Vito says, I'm always sniffing around Solana. Nice, bro. Okay, so you guys know the plan. Okay, always zoom out 12-hour daily. Get your big zones. Get your huge areas. Then scalpers. Okay, you know what to do. Okay, if you're trying to grab smaller leverage positions and things like that on certain areas, I can give you that stuff. So number one, you can see where we are currently, and this is now totally reliant on BTC bouncing in its current region, okay? So let's just go, let's just get BTC. Here's BTC, okay? So we're saying if you're buying SOL on this current level, you're saying BTC should hold the 56K right now, okay? That is basically your conviction here if you're looking at this region. So what you can do is just watch this area here, see if Bitcoin starts holding, then SOL should start pushing up for you. Okay, so you can see that's tied into a support level. SOL is now tied into a support level. If we get one more push lower on BTC, this is one of the areas you're going to start looking at. Look at it. It's Big Daddy here, 618, and this is at 127.28. Okay, so if they put pressure on us now with BTC, do nothing. Okay, let it do its thing. Wait till it hits this area. That, for me, could be a nice little area for us to get a little entry on SOL. Okay, so you can see what I've done here on my position. I've got a stop loss at 126.4. Okay, why is it there? Well, I want it to be just under the 618. So for me, I want to make sure that if they do come down and ping the 618 and bounce, for example, I'm not going to get stopped on that first hit. So let's just get this accurate here. 126.3, because that would take out some of that liquidity there as well. So let's go 126.2. So I'm just going to drop my stop here a little bit. 126.2. Okay, there we go. So now it's under the 618, okay? So I'm going to hold this position here. If we dip into that 618 region, I'm expecting a bounce. That is where I'll also look to add onto that position. So I'm going to look for structure there. I'm going to look to add and see if we can build that position. And then if we start losing that level...
Hold on. So the only issue right now with everything is great. But why are the legs under the 618? Can we get the legs over the 618?
Jack, just beat it.
You hear it. Keep the likes bullish, guys. Keep them bullish. Keep them bullish for us and some SOL entries. Okay, leverage traders, 130. Look around here. Okay, let's see if BTC holds that level. If BTC dips, 127.2, 127.3. We're looking for structure in that area. We're going to sniff around there. Remember what happens when we dip into those zones. That happened yesterday on this 382. We had a 382 here yesterday. Look at that. We dip into the area, we fuck around a little bit, then pop. Okay, that is what we're looking for. Just type of a little consolidation in those zones. And that's how you build those positions. You grab little bits when it's dipping into those areas. And then when it starts firing, you can start adding and growing that position. Gregory, what's going on with Gregory? He says, Ray's so demanding. It's so sexy. You must see, does anyone know what Ray looks like without goggles? They must be so confused. Okay. So there you got it, guys. Watching SOL right here, 130. Okay, could be an opportunity here for you guys. Keep your eyes on that. Naturally, I'm not adding here until we get to that 618 lower down. Let's see, or if this thing turns mega bullish, then I'm going to start adding. Okay, we'll play it accordingly. Okay, now on my tile, you saw Aave. This has been big news. Aave has been actually, to give it credit, this has been a big performer lately. Okay, DeFi resurgence that the researchers are talking about. Everybody's interested in this thing at the moment. But the reason I brought this up is to actually talk about another token. But let's just discuss Aave quickly. And you can see they are keeping this above our 119 zone, quite consistently. This is the daily. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days above this 119. Okay, we can see the potential downtrend here for Aave, but solid support. So if we do get a flush on the market, for me, should be a nice little scalp on Aave, 119. Have another go in that region. Okay, you can see how it responds off this level every time it gets there. So if we get a hard flush from BTC, 119, okay, we called that level last week. It had a beautiful bounce off it. 119 again, look for a scalp off that region for Aave. Okay, things are definitely bullish. The guys are interested in it. When it sells off, the buyers step in pretty quickly. So that is looking good. So that's a DeFi play. Okay, interesting tweet here from Kaito. Wonder if we see more DeFi push from Solana. Okay, let's not forget. If we're pushing a SOL trade here into breakpoint, if we're pushing a bullish SOL into rates cuts, things like that, maybe into October even, and ripping, okay, let's not forget SOL ecosystem plays. Let's not forget 𝗬𝗢𝗜𝗚, DeFi on Solana. Okay, that's a play potentially for you guys. And I've got an entry here subject to BTC going 55 to 54. Now, we looked at this one yesterday. It was a nice little scalp. But if we have to look at this hard and we have to look at this honestly, where's the high conviction play on 𝗬𝗢𝗜𝗚 right now? Where does it tie into BTC? Remember, let's look at BTC. Where do we want to see Bitcoin? If we get Bitcoin at this 55, 54 region, I suspect we're going to get 𝗬𝗢𝗜𝗚 into a similar little zone here for us. Okay, that for me is going to be the 67 region. Don't forget, bullish SOL, you can go bullish Radium, you can go bullish 𝗬𝗢𝗜𝗚, you can go bullish Drift, you can go bullish WIF, Popcat, all the filth as well. You can throw in all of that filth. And for me, 𝗬𝗢𝗜𝗚 looks like a banger here. And this is definitely a zone that I'm going to be testing 𝗬𝗢𝗜𝗚 from when we do dip down here, or if we do dip down here, okay? 0.67. Look for a move into that area. If things turn super bullish, we'll target 88 and things like that. But right now, it's all about grabbing an entry if we do dip into that zone. So if we do get a nice little move out of BTC, we're looking for something in that region, and then we want to send that one higher. Invalidation is clear. Okay, you can use some of these lows. You'll see where this dump prints. Okay, you'll see where the low gets printed on that one. Then if we start closing under the low after the dump, then you can obviously reassess. But take a look on your charts naturally and look at where these wicks are. Okay, and these would be potential areas where they could come, grab some liquidity before sending it higher. So remember, you're going to feel absolutely bearish when 𝗬𝗢𝗜𝗚𝗚 is pushing 66, 65, Bitcoin's going to be putting you under pressure at 54. You're going to be pulling out your chart saying 47, 44 is next, things like that. Remember that feeling. That's where you should get a nice little entry when you are feeling a little bit bearish. Okay, so look out for that. 66 for me, dupe 67, hot zone. Let's put alarms on right now, actually. And remember, you get these dumps and you get these big pumps out of Bitcoin. Okay, and you don't want to miss the opportunity. You can see these wicks on these altcoins. They're quite short-lived when they hit these areas. Look at these moves when we dip into these types of zones. Okay, they happen very quickly. So you got to be on your toes. Okay, if you want to get this thing. Can I help you there, sir? Are we jumping into Bitcoin yet there?
No, not yet. It's actually rejecting support, former support. But anyways, for your charts that you're gonna post, they're gonna be a sniper club, so they should sign up.
100%. Okay, guys, remember, I explained what I do in Sniper Club yesterday. Okay, now Sniper Club is a massive situation. Okay, we got a massive team in there. We got top research. You guys know Bruce the Legend. You know Chaos. You guys don't know Kerwin. He's one of our big researchers that we have in there. We've got our own little YouTube channel in there. Okay, he's dropping alpha on tokens and things that you might not even have heard of. And that is where a ton of action is happening. And what I'm doing in Sniper Club at the moment, I update all of my charts on the daily time frames on a Monday. Okay, so everybody gets a nice big picture as to what's going on. Then I give you a solid market report for the day. I give you tokens I'm looking for trades on for the day. I give you scalper setups like you've seen on the show. I tell you when and where I'm looking at entries and things like that. And then naturally, if something looks like it's going to rip, I'm going to tell you guys in our signals section, and I'm going to send that thing like I did with Ondo yesterday. Okay, so that is where you can find tons of this action on Sniper Club. But dupe, guys, you got it. Soul play, DeFi play, okay, DeFi summer, whatever the fuck they want to call it. Looks like it could be a bit of a banger there. And 0.66, 0.67 for me on dupe. And then scalpers. Okay, here's the thing. If we get a little bit more pain now on Bitcoin, okay, what you can do is also dial in to hot zones. You can go a little bit deeper. Okay, and you can start looking at this thing on lower time frames. Remember, the higher time frame plays are generally the ones that are going to do better in the long term. These short term plays for you often find that you get stopped out and things like that, and they can play all these types of games in these types of areas. And if you're scalping high leverage, you might attempt one or two of these a couple of times. But if you're zooming out, you're looking at the big picture, you're looking at one trade, spot or low margin, things like that, 3 or 4% stop loss when it hits your zone. Sit back and chill. Okay, leverage traders, you know who you are, Bogdan and those friends. And, these are the types of zones that you start looking for action on these coins. Now, any one of these could potentially be the bottom of a move. Okay, and that is why we look for structure in these reaction zones, and we look for reactions. And here's an example. This 382 right now, you can see we're getting a reaction here. Simple little game plan. What do? Drop into the 382, look for some kind of structure here, and then maybe you get a little bit of move out of that. Remember, the big one for me on this time frame is going to be your 618 fib. That is at 0.6964. Okay, so we could have a situation where you get little bounces along the way. Remember the drill. Okay, there could be multiple leverage trades in one move down. You could get this move. Okay, then they send it lower. Then you get that move. So there's one trade there. There's another potential trade there. Then they send it lower for the guard mode entry at 66. Okay, then there's a potential move down there. So leverage traders, these are the areas. Those are the zones that you hunt from. Okay, spot super low margin traders, sit back. Wait for your zones, okay? You might get one trade every 2 weeks or something like that. Let it just play out, okay? Let it come to you if it needs to. And those are essentially the levels. So one more time here. Dupe on the 1 hour. Areas of interest for me. 6964. 6844. Okay, those are the areas of interest on the 1 hour time frame. Bigger picture, guys. You know the drill. You know where the high conviction potential entry is there for me. Okay, and I'm going to have another crack at dupe again on ZoomX. Okay, so now we're going to wait for these entries. And if I'm awake when we hit that 618 that I've just shown you, I'll probably have a go there. Alternatively, if we dump or wake up tomorrow, Asia comes and sells us, I'm going to look for entries at that 66 level. And that is going to be on ZoomX, guys. Remember, they are one of my partner exchanges. I've got a couple that we work with, but ZoomX, they are 0-KYC. There's a link in the show description for you. They are starting a trading competition quite soon. Okay, so we're gonna have a go. I'm gonna get Ray. Actually, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna start a trading competition on the ZoomX. They are launching it soon. I'm gonna open up whatever. I'll be the leader or whatever they call it, and we'll get Ray in there as well. And you guys must come and join us. We're gonna trade, and we'll take some risks. Okay, let's we'll play some 3-minute candles here with Ray, and we'll take a few trades on the show as well. So I think that could be fun. So ZoomX is there. Take a look. They are third from the top. Jump in. They're also offering tons of sign-up bonuses. And remember, no KYC. You need an email address and a VPN if you're in the States or something. And then you can just jump in and get trading on ZoomX. So pretty simple. Jump in there now because we're going to trade this competition in the next couple of days. Okay. Quasi, remember, another Sol play. If Sol's going to start moving, WIF makes sense, doesn't it? Popcat makes sense. Bonk makes sense. So Quasi saying, if you told me 10 months ago that 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 would soon be doing the 4th most derivatives volume, I'd be probably, you're damn right. Look at this guy. WIF is doing 4th amount of volume after BTC, ETH, and Sol. Now, talk to me about this. Why is this thing doing so much volume right now? But it's interesting. Maybe the guys are positioning themselves for a potential breakpoint move, bullish Sol. Who knows? You know, maybe it's on the table. Maybe there's a reason there's a bit of volume there at the moment on WIF. So what I've done here for you guys is I've pulled out an 8-hour chart, and I've tried to just create a picture as to what could potentially be happening here. So you can see we've got this rising channel. Okay, so for me, I mean, we could easily have a situation like this playing out for WIF. Okay, over the next couple of weeks. Let's see if this is potentially on the table. What I wanted to look at earlier before I went live with you guys was how deep can WIF potentially go if Bitcoin gets a little flush. Yes, Jason, you are 100% correct. Sol runs, Radium runs. Okay, that's the play. And if you dip on WIF, 13%. Okay, let's assume BTC does 5. Okay, let's just see where BTC can go here. And let's take a look. So from right here, let's go BTC down. Oh, we've measured that already. Okay, it's 2.5%. So, you know, I would say WIF maybe 6-8%, somewhere along those lines. And where does that take us? Bang. Onto that 618 again at 1.43. Okay, so look out here. If we get a bit of weakness onto BTC, look out for this game plan here on WIF. This could be a nice little play for you. And we do have horizontals here in the way. Okay, so that is a little bit of extra support. But what you can do is if you close under this rising trend and this horizontal. So if we do get some kind of mega dump, okay, we start closing under this region, yes, then things are potentially getting a bit sad. Okay, things are potentially getting a little bit ugly there. So for me on WIF, 1.43. Okay, watch that area on the next BTC sell-off here, 1.43. Then a little bit lower, watch 1.35. Okay, both of these areas could be nice little reaction zones and play out really nicely with a little Bitcoin dump. Okay, into a hot zone. So just make sure you are ready. You've got Dupe, you've got Sol, you've got WIF. Okay, there's possible entries here on all 3 of these things. And yeah, I mean, you don't have to get too overcomplicated and look at 20 charts. I just happen to look at 20 charts because that's what I do for you guys. But, you know, recommendation here, grab 3 or 4. Just watch those. That's all you really are going to need. Okay. Then Don Crypto Trades talking some RWAs, and this OM is back on the table. Now he was saying it was looking quite bullish earlier today, and I thought, well, interesting little tweet here. Let's take a look at this thing because we haven't dealt with it in a while. And I mean, you know, I love Ondo. I love the RWA play. I love the RWA narrative. Pendle, another nice one, and OM. Also, RWA narrative play, you can see this thing's been pretty bullish in the past, and this thing knows how to pump, and we love things that know how to pump, okay? And unlike ADA, you know, for example, or XRP, or Litecoin, or shitcoins like that. And, you know, so for me, OM could be a little bit of a banger. So what I've done here is I'm looking at this thing on the daily time frame, and you can see we do have a rising trend in play here on the daily, and it looks like, okay, we could have a simplistic little move coming on the OM, and with very simple invalidation here. We're just playing a little rising trend here at the moment with solid daily supports. Okay, you can see the support here playing out for us. Let me just move that. Okay, and we're going to look for some kind of bounce play on this OM at these lows. So I just want to highlight this region for you there. Okay, so you can see we've got that rising trend in play. We've got some horizontals in play. Just looking a little bit interesting. Let's see what type of fibbage we have here. Bang, okay, 786. We know this thing loves a 786 as well, and it's loved it a couple of times. Okay, so 0.88. If Bitcoin gives us a solid bounce here, look for some action here on this OM, 0.88. And a very simple game plan on OM. If we start losing that area, you sit back, you wait, you let the market shit itself or do whatever it needs to do and start falling over. And that for me is an untapped zone. Okay, look, we haven't tapped that region yet. Look at that. Okay, hot zone 0.79, hot zone 0.796. Hot zone for me. That's a place where you put an alarm on. That's where you put a stink bid in one of your exchanges. What's a stink bid? Well, basically, you basically throw the grenade and run away. But you drop a little limit order there in your exchange, and that hits in the dead of the night, and bang. You've got a nice little entry. So 0.796 stink bid zone, and potential bounce for me on OM 0.88. So there could be a little bit of fun coming there for you guys. And then I've got 𝗬𝗎 for you. Now, lots of talk on 𝗬𝗎 lately. Now, look what these guys have done. 𝗬𝗎 blockchain, they tapped radio waves, okay? So they're trying to make it so decentralized now that they're saying, well, you don't need internet anymore, okay? You can now do this via radio waves, okay? So it is quite clever what they're doing, and I think that's been part of the reason why 𝗬𝗎 has been pretty bullish lately. And they basically they're literally saying you don't need the internet now, okay, to use crypto. That's cool. Okay, and then we know there's a couple of unlocks. Okay, yeah, you see, Ray likes that one. He's bullish. He's bullish on 𝗬𝗎.
Also, by the way, happy Teachers Day. Happy Teachers Day.
We appreciate you. Is it Teachers Day?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Happy Teachers Day.
I appreciate that. Okay, so 𝗬𝗎, you guys remember the story. We shorted this thing, okay, and we actually jumped out a little bit early, but 𝗬𝗎, double top, okay, in play. And what's actually going on here? If somebody said to me, where can I long 𝗬𝗎? Okay, look at this zone, 0.71. Okay, this just looks like it's designed to send. Okay, so I'm watching this one very closely. Now, this for me comes on a Bitcoin dump. This for me comes on this Bitcoin push and any Bitcoin pain. If you are a 𝗬𝗎 fan, okay, you like it fundamentally, you're looking for an entry and things like that, DCA zone for sure. Possible nice leverage trade here for you guys, 0.71. Okay, nice little hot zone. It's our 618. You're looking for this little dip into that region, and can be quite a simple little invalidation trade here for you guys. So you can actually run a relatively tight stop. Typically, when it dips into that area, it most likely consolidates, just like I showed you on Sol. It hits the areas, floats around, and then makes a decision. And you most likely get something like that, a little drop into the zone. And you could probably get away with about a 2.5% stop somewhere in this region. You're going to look for some type of chop and then a little send there on 𝗬𝗎. So watch that one, 0.71. For me, looks like a great zone. If they are going to come and send this thing lower, they're going to take this candle out, and then they might as well come and kiss the 786 at 0.6. But that's a separate discussion. We'll deal with that later. Right now, 𝗬𝗎 for me looks like a lovely dip into that 618. Little kiss, okay? And then a little send there for me. Let's just see the size of this move. That's about 8%. Now, isn't that nice? If we get a Bitcoin, say 2.5-3% dump on Bitcoin, 𝗬𝗎 8% makes sense to me. Could be a nice little tee up there for you guys. 𝗑𝗎𝗓. Well, Keely. Is that Keely, Ray? I can't read that properly. How's everyone else in the chats here? Let's see. Guys, drop some tokens here in the chats. And remember, just drop them after the show as well. Okay, and we take a look at them for you. Let's see who else is here. Cunning George, he passed his Bitfunded stage. Yes, man. And I got stopped on that near trade. I'm very frustrated. We're going to fire it up. We're going to have another go. That near trade was my NVIDIA play and didn't play out for me, unfortunately. Should have actually taken the short. Okay, that was the one that we needed. But Cunning George, I'm happy for you, bro. Welcome. And let's see, follow the violin. Please drop link after the show. Okay, link's actually looking decent. And just drop that in the comments. Uncle Ray over here, he's the man. Okay, he's going to filter that out for us. Drago says he's short 𝗏𝗡𝗏. Wow. I mean, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's absolute dog shit though, guys. Let's be honest. And I don't know if that thing's ever going to bounce. They are doing a name change and all sorts of things. And let's see with 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, but I'm not bullish on 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 at all. Let's see. Mia says shorts are the way to go for now. Look, market's in a downtrend. Correct. Okay. At some point, we get a face melting pump out of BTC. They're going to rinse all the bears. Okay. It's going to happen. They're going to rinse. We're going to be euphoric. I'm going to be hitting this bull button. It's going to break. And they're going to rinse these bears all day long. And we're just going to enjoy the moment, okay? But right now, the trade is in favor of the bears, okay? Right now, it's in shorts. If you're bouncing quick TPs, tightening up stops, okay? You know my strategy. Try and get 3 or 4 trades that you bounce on, that you long, okay? Take profits on 2 or 3 of them. Keep one open. Try and grow the size. If the market starts running away from you, you can quickly increase the size of that position. And then all of a sudden, you've 10x'd your size in your position. Market turns bullish and bang, you are cooking. So, little strategy there. Take profit early on some of them. Keep one open. Same with the shorts, okay? If you've entered a couple of shorts, keep one open. Add to it. You never know. Maybe they send Bitcoin to 44K. And then you're really going to start printing there. So, nice little strategy. Just tighten up stops. Take profit early. Leave 1 or 2 to run. Don't be scared to do a round trip. Nothing wrong with a round trip if you have a mission. Okay. Rollbit. Who took Rollbit? Who bought Rollbit the other day? I did speak about it on my show. I grabbed some spot Rollbit. And things are looking interesting. Okay, there's a lot of talk now. I heard the researchers today at Banter suddenly talking about Rollbit. I mean, we were talking about 2 days ago, 3 days ago. And now they're talking about this thing. And Parsec says, despite Rollbit's decline in mind share, okay, that's people who are interested in this thing, the casino is still chugging along. Okay, in the last 6 months, they've bought back and burned nearly 8,500 tokens. That's $21 million worth of Rollbit. And this is the founder, Razor. He's answering tons of questions on Twitter at the moment. And he's talking to tier 1 exchanges. Okay, imagine when Rollbit gets onto an exchange. They're not even on an exchange. You've got to buy this thing on like MetaMask. It's like an old Pentium or whatever the story is. And, this is how you buy it. You got to swap it out. So Rollbit's, there's talk, okay? There's talk. And this thing has now started breaking this 3-day. Okay, so looking pretty decent here for me. And hopefully this move continues. What I do like about Rollbit now, it's broken the 50-day MA. It's broken the 100-day MA. If this gets a little bit more traction, okay, and people start getting involved again and the hype comes back, this thing's going to send, okay? So, for me, I've got my bags packed here. I'm, happy to sit in this thing for a while. And targets, 98, 99. I gave you guys this the other day. And 138. These are nice little areas of interest here for us. And just look for some move sizes here. 30% to that guy, 70 or 80% to that guy, and then back to the highs about 120%. Okay, now we don't have to go back to the highs, but I suspect we get a little bit of action here out of Rollbit, especially if people start picking this thing up on Twitter and they start talking about it again. I think we're going to get a nice little move. Now, Ray, what token was in the comments yesterday? What were the two?
One sec, pulling it up. Sheesh.
I know you dropped it in my message.
Hunt, Casper, Brett.
Oh,
Helium.
Casper's a banger. Okay, guys, Casper.
Sorry.
Okay. Casper's looking good. I actually gave some setups on it today. What have I typed wrong? Casper USDT.P. What have I typed wrong here? Why is it looking wrong?
Cas.
Yes. Okay. I actually gave a scalper setup today on Sniper Club. And let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay, so here it is. Cas on the 8 hour. I dropped this earlier today in Sniper Club. I said, let's be patient. Okay, let's wait for this Cas to push into our zone. And here we go. Okay, so thanks for dropping Cas there yesterday. And looks like this is our first zone of interest, 145. Okay, we are moving into that area now. Let's see if this is going to hold. Remember, Cas has been in a super tight range. And it's finally lost that range. Okay, so now it's got work to do. It's lost the 200-day MA. This is the first type of reaction zone where this thing could possibly move. So what are we looking for? If we're a leverage trader, if we're a scalper, you're looking for this first little move. Okay, you're looking for that little push there. Then naturally anything can happen once we get to that trend. So you're going to see you're going to have a trend here in that region. Okay, so you're going to look for some kind of bounce in one of these regions. Okay, so I would expect this is normally your first zone of interest for Cas. So 0.145, 0.144, somewhere in this region, we're looking for that and a little push into trend. Okay, after that, we figure it out. It might want to come lower after that, or alternatively, it breaks, we can add and we can start growing that Cas position. But right now for me, 0.144, this is going to be a reaction area. This is where you pull out your 15-minute candles. This is where you pull this chart up. If you're sitting around your office or whatever you're doing, you pull this chart up now today, you keep your eyes on this thing, okay? 144, 145, that is where you're looking, a little bit of consolidation. If they send it lower, okay? 136, that's your area. Both of these are hot zones. Both of these are hot reaction zones for CAS. 144, 145, 136. Watch these areas. You know the game plan. You've seen me do it many times now. Look for that consolidation. Look for a little dip. Look for a stop hunt, things like that. And then a nice little push up. And then once you get to the trend, we deal with it. Okay. If we blow the trend, we add. Okay. Once you hit that trend, you tighten up your stops. You can decide how you want to play it. Okay. And let's see. So that is resistance for us, 151. And let's see if that one gets energy. Ray, what was the other one we were looking at?
Helium,
yes, another banger. Okay, something like cell phone towers in Mexico. Okay, am I right? They moved from ETH. They went dead on ETH. They moved to Sol. Then they got a cell tower situation in Mexico, I believe. And fundamentally, there's a lot of good talk around this current helium. And you can see this thing is actually busy moving pretty well. So let's take a look at the chart. And look at this. The last time we discussed it, look at it. It listened beautifully. Okay. Did it not listen beautifully, Raymond? Look at this thing. Okay. So guys, just another thing of beauty. Okay. Like these things are due. Okay. They're not difficult. It's really, anyone can pull a fib. Anyone can look at a level. Anyone can look at trend. Anyone can find a 50-day moving average. Okay. What is difficult is letting these things all gel together for you and having the conviction to trust them and to back them as your entry zones. Okay. And HNT now, literally, we haven't looked at this thing in a while. You can see when we drew this thing. Okay. This was, when was this? 12th of August. Okay. That's when I obviously drew this picture. Okay. And what did I say? I said, look for a pullback and retest onto the 382, okay, and the 50-day MA. Okay, here it is. Okay, there it is. Look how this thing moved into the zone. It really is beautiful. There was a 382, a 50-day MA, and a trend and horizontal. You had 4 levels of confluence there to trade this thing on the daily, okay? A banging area there. And that is why I love these reaction zones, and that is why I love these areas, and that is why I talk about them so much. Very simple game plan here. Okay, so helium, I mean, there's the trade. There's the trade setup as well. A thing of beauty, really. Okay, so what do we do now? Okay, the history doesn't help us. What do we do now? Okay, upside targets, 10.57. Okay, if this thing remains bullish, that is where we're going. Okay, upside target. Let's just take a look at some fibs in the way. Okay, that's looking good. So we've broken through our 618. We know that 618 is a big level. It's a big level to the upside. Okay, when we push looking for resistance, it's a big level to the downside when we're looking for bounces and support. Okay, so we've broken that 618. So ideally now you want to see this thing find some kind of support in this region. So let this thing float around now. Okay, you don't really want to buy a green candle like that. You want to let this thing float around, maybe give you some kind of flag in this area here, 7.96. Your next area of trouble, 9.3. Okay, if this thing keeps pushing, 9.3, watch out there. If it rips through that, 10.5. Pretty simple there. And then massive support for you guys, 6.09. Okay, call it 6.1. Big support zone. You can see this thing, beautiful bounce of that area. So 6.0 or 6.1. Okay, nice little zone there. I expect a strong bounce off that area as well. Okay, bull hat, 3 days in a row, guys. Eventually, this white hat is going to pump the market. Okay, I've got conviction on this bull hat, and I've decided I'm not going to not wear it until the market starts ripping. The minute the market rips, we go bear hat. Okay, we keep the market green. Okay, guys, I'm done. Good luck with everything. You got your levels. You got everything you need from me, and I think you're going to be okay. You know, if we get the dip, yes, sir.
Refresh and drop your comments, guys. Refresh.
Drop your comments of what you want right now after the show. Okay. See you guys later.